And we are here again, once again, for another episode of Last Word on Football.
Yes, took last week off. Had a great vacation. It was cold.
It was cold.
Glad to be back in San Diego.
You're in your hometown, right?
Yep. I was told it wasn't supposed to snow. I get back, and it had dumped overnight.
Really?
About, 3 or 4 inches.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I was not smart enough to pack my sweater on my my carry-on. I packed it in my check bag.
Oh.
So I showed up to Green Bay in shorts and a T-shirt, and it was like 33 degrees outside and snow on the ground.
Oh, man.
I get off the plane, my dad's like, "What the hell are you doing?"
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
The speaking of the snow, it was snowing during their game today in Green Bay.
Yeah.
It was nice. Our first snow game of the season, I believe.
Yep.
It
was a good one. They didn't really hold McCaffrey in check, but he didn't explode and go off like crazy how he has been in the past.
Yeah, they held him to one touchdown in under 150 yards from scrimmage.
Under 150 yards.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. There's not a lot of teams that could say they've done that, though.
Yeah, definitely. Let's go into our favorite guy to talk about, Lamar Demetrius Jackson Jr.
He's been giving us a lot of good content to talk about.
Yeah, you can't go wrong talking about him. Do you think he threw himself in the MVP conversation with that performance today and last week too?
Oh, and how he made New England's defense look not as elite.
Right. Yeah.
They couldn't figure out how to stop him at all.
No.
When I was watching that game, I was very impressed with some of the midline stuff they were running. He'd fake the handoff to the running back, pull the ball back, and then scoot around the outside. The guy is fast.
Oh yeah.
Incredibly athletic.
And the way he cuts like a running back. You know? I mean, you don't see quarterbacks that can cut on a dime like that.
I've always been under the impression, or I've always thought run first quarterbacks, or just quarterbacks that like to run would definitely get hit hard. They take a lot of abuse, like Cam Newton. He's kind of a bully. He's like 6'5", but Lamar Jackson, he takes way less hard hits than I thought a running quarterback would.
Right.
Because when I was watching them play against New England, it just didn't look like anybody had a real shot to hit him hard because he's so fast.
Yeah.
All of his tackles look like light kind of arm tackles, and he'd get spun to the ground. Or
he gets tackled like wide receivers get tackled.
Yeah.
Like that, which is good.
Except he doesn't get smoked over the middle.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't have to get smoked catching passes. I mean, the dude, he's definitely legit. And I love that style of offense. That's why I like the Panthers early in Cam Newton's career, because they had a similar kind of offense like that. But, I mean, Lamar runs it even better because he can actually pass accurately.
Yeah. That's one thing. He definitely stepped up his game this year.
Yeah. I mean, this week he went 15 of 17, 3 touchdowns, 158.3 rating. Then he has another 7 rushes, 65 yards, and a touchdown.
Now, he went 17 for 19. You don't have to pass very much nowadays if you're playing the Bengals.
Yeah. 15 of 17. No, 17 passes.
15 of 17,
Although
not 17
they
of
took
19.
him out. RG3 played most of the fourth quarter. By then, the game was out of hand.
They have RG3 too?
Yeah, they have RG3.
I didn't even know that.
Oh, you didn't notice this? So they had a play where they had Jackson and then flanked by Mark Ingram and RG3, and they ran a triple option.
Really?
So they fake it to Ingram. Ingram goes this way, and then Jackson pitched it back to RG3, and RG3 got a nice little 15-yard gain or something.
Really? Can the guy still move?
Yeah. He can still move. He looks bigger now, too. I don't know if it's just that Jackson's even smaller than RG3, but I remember RG3 being tiny, but he looked bigger than Lamar Jackson.
Beefed up.
Yeah, he's beefed up
he's been hitting the weight room.
He's getting thick. He's getting thicker now that he's just
interesting.
So that was fun.
But, I think we were alluding to talking about this. I think there's maybe not no doubt, but I think it's a toss-up between the Bengals and the Dolphins as the 2 worst teams in the league now, as of right now.
Yeah, well,
even the Redskins, I think. Well, they beat the Dolphins first of all.
Yeah.
And then who else is in there? The Jets have got to be in that conversation because they lost to the Dolphins.
Yeah, they lost. The Dolphins have now won 2 straight. They won today.
Who they beat today?
They beat the Colts.
No way.
They beat the Colts and Brian Hoyer.
Dude, is Miami going to make the comeback of the century? What if they make the playoffs?
They are not going to make the playoffs.
Can we just speculate for a second how funny that would be?
That would be
I don't think they
funny.
would be able to make the playoffs at how many losses do they have? 7? They'd have to win out. They'd have to go at least 9-7.
Right. We can't call the Dolphins the worst anymore. It's got to be the Bengals.
If Miami wins next week and the Bengals lose, I think it's easy. Oh, man.
Almost an
That would have helped
interception.
you out there, Daniel. We're watching the Vikings and the Cowboys game right now. It's 14-0 with about 13 minutes left in the second quarter.
The only way it would help him, because don't you have Dak starting?
Yeah, I do. I have Dak, Ezekiel Elliott, and Jason Witten.
So an interception, you would need a pick 6.
That's true. He would have
otherwise, it's a wash because
would've-
you lose 2 and you gain 2.
He would have needed that guy to catch it and then fumble it. Which receiver was that?
Yeah, I also
That was,
have the Vikings defense, so that's
that was
the
Cooper.
dilemma
It is
I'm
Cooper.
in right now.
It's not the best dilemma to be in. That
Man.
happens. Punting now. We got two touchdowns.
Dude, I think I would have tried a field goal from that distance. I suppose that was back pretty far.
It always looks shorter when you see it, and like
Yeah.
up close.
When then they pan out.
Yeah.
That view from behind the line of scrimmage was very deceptive as far as the depth
Yeah,
perception goes.
It was. So back to the Bengals. Now, I mean, so they decided to bench Andy Dalton for Ryan Finley for some weird reason. I mean, I know their season's done, but
Hey, the red rifle's been pulled.
yeah,
Isn't that what they call him? His
yeah, the
nickname?
red rifle or the red.
I mean, your
BB
season's
gun.
not going on anywhere. You might as well see how Ryan Finley's playing.
Do they really think that he's going to be the future though?
How many years does Andy Dalton have left in the tank? How old is Andy Dalton?
At this point,
Can you look up how old Andy
he's
Dalton is?
done. Yeah, he's done. But I mean, I'm almost like, he's been there a while. Let the guy finish out the season at least, because they're probably going to try to draft a quarterback now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is it a good drafting class for quarterbacks this year?
yeah, it's a pretty good draft class as far as I'm hearing. You have the guy Herbert. I think even Jalen Hurts might come out, and then you have a few other guys. I'm not too into college. I know there's still Tua, but now he's kind of falling a little bit.
Andrew Gregory Dalton is 32 years old.
32?
Andrew, oh wow, no, he's done. He's gonna be a backup moving forward.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
And we were talking about this before. I can't believe that the Bengals didn't try to trade A.J. Green at the deadline and get something for him, because he's a walkaway free agent at the end of this year.
yeah,
They could have gotten at least a third-round pick for him, I feel like. Maybe not a second. I don't think a first, because
yeah.
you're not going to play that much.
The hell's that smell?
It smelled like incense. Something burning.
We're holding. There may or may not be a fire in the apartment right now. Oh, we're good. There's no fire.
She's burning incense.
No fire. We can go back to our
shit.
regularly scheduled.
Yeah, regularly
podcast.
scheduled program. Yeah. All right. Anyway,
Do we have to start taking fire breaks now every week? Is that the new thing?
Fire
Are
break.
you going to leave that in there, or are you going to cut that out?
I might leave some of it in.
Yeah.
yeah, leave
That's
some.
a
of it.
little funny.
The heck is this? Most passive,
Obviously, you guys can tell we're very professional when we sit down and do these.
very professional. Yeah,
We run a tight ship.
yeah, very much so.
All 50 listeners.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We love all 50 of you.
every single one of you. Leave us some comments. We've only seen a few,
Except for that one guy that was a dick. That's the Walter Payton Man of the Year patch. I didn't know what the fuck it was, man. I don't know everything.
I don't think I've seen one player wear that's won it. So
You're talking about Jason Witten, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
Jason Witten. Bye. Leave us some more comments. Keep watching though.
Tell us how stupid we are. We appreciate it.
Yeah, yeah.
People out there have been talking to my parents.
Oh man.
Jeez,
there goes Dalvin Cook.
Dude,
He's running
Cowboys
angry this year.
the Cowboys have an issue. They can't stop the run at all.
Yeah.
This is starting to look like a very one-sided game if it gets up 21-0.
Yeah. Dallas, it's like they come to play some weeks and others they don't. It's kind of weird, but whatever. All right. What the heck were we saying? Oh,
were
they didn't
talking
want to
about-
trade AJ Green.
Yeah.
I mean, he loves.
I was talking with my dad, and we were talking about how great it would have been if the Packers could have traded for him if Cincinnati would have given him up. I don't think Cincinnati wanted to give him up, though, was the thing. Because I don't know how true this is, but I had heard that other teams had inquired about trying to trade for him, and they were just they didn't want to trade him.
I don't understand
weird.
it because they're in rebuild mode. He's an aging wide receiver. I don't know why you don't want to.
And
get
he's not
something
going to be
for
on
him.
your team next year. Why
Yeah,
would he
he's-
re-sign with the Bengals?
At this point, he's doubtful that he's going to re-sign. Yeah.
Let's take a minute. Who do you think could sign him next year? Where would you like to see AJ Green go? Could you imagine if the Saints signed him
The Saints.
with Drew Brees and Michael Thomas? Or how great would it be if Green Bay signs him, then you got Devontae Adams, Aaron Rodgers, A.J. Green.
I'm still holding out hope the Raiders sign him if we don't draft CeeDee Lamb, even if we do, maybe.
Dude. How did that guy not?
He just like bounced off of
I feel like he could have dove and maybe made a play on that.
Oh, yeah.
You
know? Well, remember the Bengals play the Dolphins in week 16. So this could be the game.
Is that the toilet bowl?
Yeah.
That's the official toilet bowl.
Yeah, especially it's in week 16. So it's 1 week before the season ends. But, I mean, that's probably it, right?
So it'll give the team that loses that game another week to think about how they're the worst team in the league.
Yeah.
And it's not even close.
But, I mean, at that point, they're going to be playing for draft picks. So it's like they're just going to be like running into the safety every
Are we
play.
going to be Are we going to watch a full tank game where both teams are trying to give the other team Fitzmagic is going to throw a purposeful pick six?
Right?
Hey, you.
Ooh, Cousins got decked. That's funny. He's got the little gallop right there. All right.
Yeah.
Speaking of quarterbacks named Ryan, we also have Ryan Tannehill, who's making a case for a permanent starter with the Titans.
Yes, that's right. I forgot Mariota was bench. I am honestly probably in the same boat as a lot of people. I can't believe they beat the Chiefs today.
Yeah.
Especially with Mahomes playing.
I did not expect that.
Mahomes played pretty well.
He did, yeah. I mean, he come back. He had, 36 of 50, threw a lot of passes, 446 yards. And
Were they
3
down?
touchdowns.
They must have been down big early.
No.
To pass that much. 50 times. Tyreek Hill had 19 targets.
It was close. I think there was like a few defensive plays in there that really kept the Titans in, but somebody touched that. It looked like the Cowboys touched that. I think the Vikings might have got it back. Yeah, why did they pass so much? I mean, the run game wasn't terrible.
I'm kind of curious to see how this one pans out right here. I don't know what just happened. I really wasn't paying attention. I was looking at Ryan when this happened. Did this hit him on the punt? Oh, it did.
Oh, it hit the Minnesota guy first.
Who did it hit?
Yeah, it hit the Dallas guy, but I think it hit the other dude first.
Oh.
Anyway, Tannehill didn't have to throw a lot. 13 of 19, 180 yards, 2 touchdowns. He also had 3 for 36 rushing, and including a key third down run on that final drive of the game for him.
Did you have anything written down? Oh, Derrick Henry had a pretty good game today.
Yeah, I didn't get his stats.
Let me look him up really quick.
He had a lot, yeah. He had like 1 super long run.
I know he had 2 touchdowns, at least 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Give me a second, bear with me.
You're good.
My fantasy app always, every time you log out of it, it's got to refresh the live stats, and it's just annoying.
Oh, heck yeah.
I do know that the guy that in my league that I'm looking up right now did not start Derrick Henry this week. For whatever reason.
In one league, I traded
188 yards and 2 touchdowns he had.
It's my other money league. I traded Derrick Henry and Hunter Henry. I traded Derrick Henry, Hunter Henry for Russell Wilson and Josh Jacobs, and I'm playing that guy. Despite Derrick Henry doing really good, Jacobs still did good too, and I'm hoping Wilson does, and I can eke out a win. So far, he's projected to win by 0.3.
Ooh.
Yeah, but I traded Hunter Henry.
Speaking of which, I beat you by 0.5 last week. If Saquon would have had 1 more rushing yard or 1 catch, I would have lost. It was that close.
Yeah, I just needed him to have a catch, and I would have won. I can't believe that.
In the grand scheme of things, like losing by less than a yard, like that sucks.
Yeah, that sucked. Yeah, so that was fun.
Wait, no, it's not a yard. It'd be 5 yards.
It was 0.6 I lost by. So he could have caught a pass for a yard or rushed for 6 yards, and I would have won.
That's 18 feet.
Yeah. I think the specifics were 0.54, if I remember correctly.
It was close.
It was that close.
I think it was the closest fantasy football game I've ever played that I've won. I actually lost the week before by like 0.6.
Really?
Yeah.
So,
and then I won by 0.6 last week. And then I absolutely am unloading on Daniel today.
Yeah.
I woke up at about 9:30 today, and the football game started at 10 out here because it's the West Coast.
Right.
And Deshaun Watson's on a bye this week, so I'm looking for a rental quarterback for a week, and I'm like, Danny's name in our league is DJ Danny Dimes, so I'm like, I'll pick up Daniel Jones, 4 touchdowns against the Jets, so solid 1 week rental, and I'm going to drop him this week, and Deshaun Watson's going to go right back in the starting lineup.
Yeah, I'm getting fucked this week.
Yeah, I need a quarterback. Brissett went down.
Amongst other players that had a good week on my team, Tyreek Hill, Aaron Jones rushes for 3 more.
Yeah, 3 more. That's looking like one of my worst trades in history.
Yeah,
right now.
I can't believe you straight up traded me Le'Veon Bell for Aaron Jones.
I thought that I didn't.
And you were going to give me another wide receiver.
Terrible.
I started Demarius Thomas this week just because I didn't have another wide receiver.
Terrible either.
9 targets, 6 receptions for 84 yards. If he would have had a touchdown, it would have been a really good day for him.
I almost traded for Antonio Brown from Ryan, so I would have been.
But weren't you going to trade me Beckham, who hasn't done much better at all?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
Beckham's been terrible.
Is he the most disappointing receiver this year? Not named Antonio Brown?
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, I mean, I just did an article on fantasy mid-season awards and stuff, and yeah, I mean, he's ranked as like wide receiver 26 or something.
Jarvis Landry had a pretty good day today.
Mm-hmm. Landry's doing better.
Finally, he had a good day. Kareem Hunt came back and played today.
He did.
Robbing a little bit of Nick Chubb's stats. Did you write down what Kareem Hunt did today?
So he had 4 rushes for 30 yards. Key miscue almost led to a defensive touchdown on a missed handoff, but luckily it was a shuttle, so they called it an incomplete pass. But let's see. Then he did have 9 targets, and he caught 7 passes for 44 yards. So not a bad day for Kareem Hunt.
That's pretty good if you do PPR. 7 for 44. That's 11.4 points right there. If you do decimals.
Plus his 3 more rushing. Yeah, I mean, Chubb's fighting to keep his bell cow roll. He had 20 rushes, 116, but then he had 4 targets, only secured 2 of them for 5 yards. So Hunt's definitely going to start cutting into those snaps because he's more versatile. I think probably Chubb's a better straight ahead runner, but Hunt's better all around back, no doubt. A Browns fan tried to call me crazy on Facebook for it. He's like, "Are you dumb?" I was like, "Are you forgetting that Hunt was a top 3 running back in fantasy like before he went out last year?" I think he was so high that like even a few weeks after his suspension, he kept his number 3 spot in like fantasy. I was like, that's how good he was doing.
Yeah, that offense was loaded last year.
Yeah,
with him and Tyreek Hill and Mahomes.
Yeah. Yup.
Firing on all cylinders too. I'm still shocked that Patrick Mahomes is playing this soon after his injury.
Yeah, I can't believe it. That's
if he goes
crazy.
down again and he gets really fucked up, like...
Yeah.
I mean, I know the Chiefs kind of are expecting to win because they went to the AFC Championship game.
Yeah.
But if he gets hurt again and it's, like, serious and he has to get another major surgery and he comes back and he's not the same, like... You're going to lose, like, 5 or 6 years down the road of him being good. That's going to hinder you down the road.
Exactly. Oh, there's a Gallup touchdown. I have Gallup in a few leagues.
Well, that sucks. That's going to cut into your defensive points there, Daniel.
Yep.
And it wasn't even one of your guys that scored. That's the worst part.
That's the worst. Yep. Yeah, I mean, I think I get why now they let him come back. They'd lost what? Well, they won. They won with Matt Moore once, right? But they lost.
They beat the Vikings last week. Harrison Butker kicked that field goal.
Oh, I totally forgot about
Everybody
that
in the NFC North lost last week.
Nice.
The fucking Packers made the Chargers look good. I couldn't believe it. I was so disappointed. I was disgusted. I wasn't disappointed.
That was a disgusting game. I couldn't. They held him to 3 points for most of the game, right?
They made Bosa look really good, which he is really good.
Oh, yeah.
But they made him look like incredible.
Yeah.
Him and Melvin Ingram were all over Aaron Rodgers. They couldn't stop either one of them.
Right. Good times. Good times.
And they couldn't stop Melvin Gordon either. First team this year that had trouble containing him. He also had a pretty good week this week against the Raiders.
Yeah, over 100 yards rushing.
I started him in fantasy. He might be starting to come back. That'd be nice because I have him in a couple of my leagues.
Yeah.
He might help me win some money in our league. Like I said, I'm only two games out of like 4th place or something like that.
With my loss to you, I am now the Sacco for now and keeping that title this week with another
Our league is very
loss.
close, though. You're still only we have 3 weeks to play, and I think you're only 3 spots out of making the playoffs.
If I were to win out, then I have a shot at
If you were to win out, it's going to be really interesting how the playoff picture is going to work because there's a good shot you could be below 500 in our league, and somebody could make the playoffs.
There is. Yeah, that's so true.
Based on points. Like, even the points scored margin is very close.
Yeah. There's another league too where I'm in 4th place and I'm 4 and 5. That's some parity. Those leagues like that are pretty cool.
That's usually. I feel like that's usually a good sign that you're playing with people that know what they're doing.
Yeah,
it's not like
exactly
10 Joe Schmoes in a league and one guy just doesn't change his lineup every week.
Yeah,
and another guy is playing people that are out.
I haven't changed my lineup too much. But...
Yeah, but
none
of your players are hurt though, and
yeah,
you're like in fourth place. Like there's some people in some leagues that I play that they'll have 4 guys on a bye in 1 week and they won't change any of them out and they'll score like 30 points.
Oh yeah, that just happened to me in another this week
because
too.
They didn't change their lineup at all, or they didn't care to, or they just forgot about it because life happens. I get that.
Yeah. No excuses, even if life
it has happened to me in the past. I've definitely been in a couple of leagues where I did that same thing.
Just give up. Oh,
well,
no.
yeah, it's like
I go out to the end, man.
Start off like through the first 8 weeks, and then like your number 1 and 2 draft picks both tear their ACL, and it's like towel, white flag.
You know the worst thing is though is when you get beat by a team that like you could tell they haven't changed their lineup in like a month, but they just somehow like the guys that they did play go off and like make up for their like zeros in there. Yeah. I'm like, oh, how did that happen? There goes Cook. I could go. I wouldn't mind a fumble by Dalvin Cook.
It would certainly help. It wouldn't help Daniel. It would just get Dallas's offense back on the field to give him another opportunity to run it down the field. Maybe Ezekiel Elliott could break off a long run.
Yeah,
I do want Minnesota to lose this game because obviously.
North. Yeah. Okay. All right. Speaking of quarterbacks named Ryan, again, a third Ryan quarterback this week, Matt Ryan. He came back from injury.
Guy's got 2 first names.
Yeah, he's got 2 first names.
What's his middle name?
John. That's a good question.
Matthew John Ryan.
Imagine if that's like Johnson or something. Like his middle name is the last name.
If Matt Ryan's middle name is John. Oh, what is going on?
No,
what just happened?
That was a forward pass. They let those plays go, but that looked like a forward pass to me. What the heck just happened?
Matthew Thomas Ryan. The guy has 3 first names.
Matthew Thomas Ryan.
Yeah, that's a forward pass. That's going to be called back.
Yeah, that's back. Well, I mean, he didn't have crazy stats today.
Yeah, Matt Ryan, man, the Falcons are so wishy-washy. I can't believe I'm shocked, like a lot of people are probably, that they held the Saints to 9 points.
Well, their defense has been like their weakness all season. They've been giving up like 30 points a game, and more guys get injured every week, and then now somehow they hold the Saints' crazy good offense to 9 points.
And they held Drew Brees under 300 yards on 45 passes.
Yeah, despite no touchdowns for him. And the oddest part about this is when I looked at the stats, there was only 11 rushing attempts they had all game, the Saints. Kamara had 4. He gained 24 yards. Latavius Murray 5. And then like 1-1 for like Ted Ginn and someone else.
This is what I'm talking about too. I've harped on this before. How does Matt Ryan not get Julio Jones the ball more? Michael Thomas, they lost today. They only scored 9 points. Michael Thomas had 13 receptions still.
Yep.
Julio Jones had 3 again.
79 yards on him. He had some key catches, but he had 9 targets too, which is a good amount. Why could they not connect?
I don't know. Our defense is just absolutely keying on him somehow. I don't think. Can Matt Ryan, does he not have the arm that he used to?
Yeah. Because I saw some key plays that he made. I felt like he had a lot more passes to him. Maybe there was some interference calls or something too, because he seemed to be more involved than just his 3 catches. But
the productivity that Michael Thomas has been putting out this year and last year is just absolutely through the roof.
Yeah.
Is he a top 3 fantasy draft pick next year if he keeps up his double-digit receptions every year in PPR?
Probably, yeah. I mean, it's like Antonio Brown used to be one of the top pick too.
I think next year CMC is going to be probably the number 1 pick.
Yeah, you have him and Thomas.
I think Ezekiel Elliott will be probably number 2 still.
Yeah,
Zeke's very versatile.
He's coming back. Yeah, that's the good thing.
He catches a lot of passes out of the backfield too.
Yeah. And you got like Barkley's kind of falling a little bit, injuries. Same Kamara's been hurt as well.
Yeah, both of those guys. I forgot about.
They'll still be first round picks, of course. It's tough with running backs. Usually get that advantage.
In my league that I play in with my dad and a bunch of my buddies, I did draft Michael Thomas 5th. That's probably where he's going to stay. He's going to be the 5th pick
he'll be overall. a top 5.
He'll be the first wide receiver to go. That's for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. He'll be the first, and he's really the only top receiver who's lived up to his draft stock.
Yeah, he's in first. I think he's the number 1 wide receiver in fantasy by a lot, just because of the sheer volume he gets. He'll read you some of these stats that he has this year for.
Yeah, and as of week 9, so I haven't tallied up week 10s, but somehow Mike Evans was in half-point PPR. Mike Evans was the wide receiver 1 with Thomas number 2 just because of Evans' ridiculous games.
So the Saints have played 9 games, and he has over 100 yards in 5 of them.
Nice.
And he has over 10 catches or more in 5 of those games.
Yeah.
His worst game was against Seattle. He only had 5 catches for 54 yards, but he also scored. This year he has not been catching a lot of touchdowns. He only has 4, but with how much volume he gets, he doesn't need to be catching a lot of touchdowns.
Yeah. Yeah, he's good. I'll never forget this.
His last 3 games, he's had 33 receptions for over 400 yards.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah. And a touchdown.
He's probably one of my biggest misses ever. So in his second year, it was my first article for Last Word on Sports that I ever wrote. My first ever published article entitled, Michael Thomas is being drafted way too high. And I encourage people to draft guys like Des Bryant and Terrell Pryor over Michael Thomas. And yeah, that didn't work out well for me.
You should probably take that down before somebody reads that.
Oh, no, I'll leave that up. I mean, hey, man, it's accountability. You win some, you lose some, and it happened to be one of my worst takes to this day. It was actually my most viewed article for a good while, and on there, like, people commented too, and the funniest comment name was Michael Thomas's dad, and that's what they named themselves for the comment they made, and it was said like something like, "Oh man, you're dumb." Someone came back a year later even too and was like, every single point in this article was wrong. It was terrible. But I mean, up to that point, like Drew Brees never like locked in on a wide receiver. I guess because he never had one like Michael Thomas. But
well, they kind of had a revolving door going. Willie Snead used to play for them. Brandon Cooks was there for a little bit.
Yeah, they had him.
But Brandon Cooks wasn't like.
Yeah, even
he wasn't getting the productivity that Michael Thomas is getting, though.
Yeah, exactly.
I would say what was the last receiver he really connected with was probably Jimmy Graham.
Yeah, Jimmy Graham. That was really it in the entire time he was there. I mean, you have Marcus Colston for a while, but even him, he wasn't he was a reliable receiver, but not the best at fantasy production.
That's when Mark Ingram and who was the other running back they had at the time? It wasn't Alvin Kamara. They were doing a lot of running back by committee.
Oh, when they had Darren Sproles and Reggie Bush.
I couldn't remember what year Darren Sproles had left, but I believe him and Mark Ingram were the two.
Right.
I could be wrong.
Yeah. I think Sproles left, and then that's when they got Reggie Bush, if I remember correctly. Something like that.
Reggie Bush.
What else? Oh, Bills Mafia got baked today. Baked by
Baker Mayfield.
Yeah. It was a good headline, huh?
Yeah, that was. They got baked today.
Yeah, so Hauschka missed the field goal that would have sent that game to overtime. So
did they play in Buffalo?
Where was it? I don't know.
Or was it in Cleveland? I don't remember. You can look it up real
question.
Quick. But, yeah, if they are breaking tables this week, they're not doing it happy. So if you're in Buffalo and you are on vacation, be wary. Yeah. There's probably a lot of drunk people running around that are upset. It was in Cleveland.
Oh, okay. They snapped that streak. OBJ had 12 targets, but he still can't get on the same page with Baker. Only 5 of those were converted into catches, 57 yards.
Odell Beckham, he's a real diva.
But very
flashy.
He's good though. I mean, look at him in with the Giants. The production that he's getting there is ridiculous. I think their offensive coordinator, they made the wrong choice with their head coach hire. They could have got Mike McCarthy.
You think Freddie Kitchens is a one and done?
I don't know. I don't know if they want, I think he should be because he was the wrong choice, but just for the sake of continuity, I wouldn't be surprised if they keep him. They should have got McCarthy. He said he would take that job. Why would they not choose him?
Yeah, with how much talent they have on offense, it's hard to believe that they're not putting up 25 to 30 points a week.
It's ridiculous. And some of when I'm seeing some of their play calls, then it's that's coordinator issues. I mean, Baker, he holds the ball too long sometimes, but you could coordinate things to make it, give him some plays where he has to get the ball out earlier. Like their coaching is just not it. It's not it. They should be a lot better. They have way too much talent for that. What else do we got here? How about the other two New York teams? We talked about them a little bit.
Oh, the other two New Jersey teams, you mean?
Yeah, New Jersey teams.
We're going to make sure to... You know what? That guy that was talking all that shit about the Walter Payton thing, I bet he's from New York. That's what it is.
You think so?
Oh, yeah. And it's just eating him up inside because we made fun of his beloved Giants or Jets who played each other today in New Jersey.
Yeah.
In East Rutherford.
East Rutherford, New Jersey. So it was a home game, but none of the New York teams still played in New York.
Who was the home team for that game?
I think it was the Jets.
I don't think it matters.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. The Jets had the dark uniforms, so I don't know.
Jason Witten.
There goes Witten.
Jason Witten. He's.
I don't know what happened there. He got tangled up in his own guy. Yeah, dude. But, Daniel Jones, almost a flawless game. 307 yards, 4 touchdowns, except for getting punked by Jamal Adams. That turned out to be the difference in the game.
That was a great fantasy pickup for me. I picked him up about 30 minutes before the game started because I needed a rental quarterback.
I'm surprised you waited that long.
I was...
You just didn't think of it?
Well, I got drunk last night, and I woke up kind of late. That's really what it was. And I was sailing all day yesterday on a boat, so didn't have any reception, so I couldn't really do it yesterday.
Yeah, I luckily got up in time.
Here we go, reverse. Oh, he's
going to... That was dead from the get-go.
Yeah. Is Randall Cobb left-handed?
Yeah. We know... is he? Oh, yeah, he's too left-handed, huh? What?
What the hell is he doing?
What is that?
Slinging dick around?
That's weird. Alrighty then. We need to get a little clip of that in there if possible.
So people know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
You know what? As soon as they hear me say dick sling, they're going to be like, oh, yep, he's talking about Dak practicing.
Yeah, that was weird.
Pre-game warm-up.
I think Saquon Barkley's not right. They admitted this after the game. I wish they would have maybe told me something, the whole fantasy
you wouldn't
community.
have started him in fantasy football?
Yeah.
Are you regretting drafting him first now? Hindsight's 20/20, though.
I mean,
solid,
I would have never known.
Rock solid first pick.
I would have never known. I'd like to say I would change it, but I wouldn't.
Obviously, if he went back, you would have picked Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, of course.
Because Alvin Kamara's been hurt for.
Yeah, he's at least been more productive than Barkley, but
yeah. But he hasn't. He's a shell of what he was last year. This year, not saying he can't turn it around, but it's just. This year hasn't been his year so far.
He had 13 rushes, only gained 1 yard. He saved his day, kind of, by 5 catches for 30 yards. But at least...
13 rushes for 1 yard.
Le'Veon Bell didn't have a terrible game for me. He had a touchdown finally.
Oh, that was Saquon Barkley's stat line, 13 rushes for 1 yard?
Yeah, Saquon Barkley, 13 for 1 yard. Darnold must have called Ghostbusters. He looked a lot better. 19 to 30, 230.
Did you come up with that one all by yourself?
I did, yeah. It's probably pretty cheesy.
I'm seeing ghosts. Yeah. I didn't understand why people were freaking out that they had put that audio clip of him saying that up, for everyone to hear.
Yeah.
I'm seeing ghosts. Did you see that?
Yeah.
When they were playing the Patriots, basically when a quarterback says that, I'm seeing ghosts, he's basically seeing guys that aren't there, in his head while he's scanning the field and looking for receivers.
Yeah.
So he was making bad quarterback decisions based on him seeing double.
He's playing scared.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because they got after him, which the Patriots usually always do against their division rivals.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he said he was seeing ghosts, and then they put because they had him mic'd up for the game, and then they put that audio clip out there.
Yeah.
And
I don't know why you're mad if he was mic'd up.
But yeah, Le'Veon Bell was freaking out, they did Sam dirty, and it was Sam Darnold wasn't even that upset about it. Yeah, I said it.
Yeah. Imagine if they caught Mitch Trubisky saying that. How mad he would have been.
Mitch Trubisky.
He would have probably been crying.
So Jim Rome was talking about this earlier this week, and I absolutely love how funny he is and how he can just keep talking, and he doesn't even have to think about what he's saying because it just comes out so flawlessly.
Right.
I'm honestly jealous. He just went into the Radio Hall of Fame, too. I don't know if you know that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this weekend he was inducted into the Radio Hall of Fame.
Nice.
But he was talking. He was like, that tweet that Trubisky sent out or whatever, he was talking about like, oh, just nobody knows us, who we are, who we truly are, and we're going through some struggles right now. And he was like, oh, we know exactly who you are. We're not saying that you're a bad person, Mitch. Like, you could go out there and you could end world hunger or fight for world peace. But I'll tell you what you cannot do. You cannot lead an offense down a field to score a touchdown. He's like, that you cannot do. He's like, I'm not questioning your character as a human.
Yeah.
I'm questioning your ability to lead an offense down the field because you're not very good at that.
Ooh, Cobb touchdown.
What a catch.
Flag on the field.
You know, that kind of makes up for him throwing that shitty left-handed pass right there. And also, that's a double dagger for you because, once again, your guy did not score any points on that. Dak threw the pass, but your defense is going to lose points on that, so you're only going to get about 2 points for that, which sucks. Look at that catch.
Ooh.
Did it hit the ground? No. I hope it doesn't. I think it's a catch.
Yeah, that's a catch. I couldn't tell what the penalty was.
Dude, I'm surprised he even saw
nice.
it. That guy's arm was right in his face. Those gloves are so sticky. I don't understand how receivers drop it sometimes. Like, especially when it hits him right in the hands, too. Like, wow. Dude,
Nice.
that's like fingertip.
Offsides.
That's fingertips.
Yeah.
Catching it with his
nice.
fingernails almost.
Fingernails, yeah. Not bad at all. What else we got? Oh, another running back who's not right is David Johnson. I kept him on my bench wherever I could. I didn't have a good feeling about him. He had 5 carries for 2 yards and lost a fumble, so he had 0 points.
Yeah, which was great because one of my buddies that is ahead of me in my fantasy league started him, and he didn't do anything. So I'm going to overtake him for points this week. And he's going to lose because he's playing the guy that's in first in my division, and he's getting stomped on. So
nice.
And David Johnson, you were a big part of that. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. In both leagues where I benched David Johnson, I put Gallup in the flex, and he got a touchdown. So that choice paid off.
In my other league that I was just mentioning, I also I picked up Kyler Murray as my backup quarterback because I had Deshaun Watson in that league as well, so he was on bye this week. So I started Kyler Murray. And I didn't know if he was going to have a good week this week. But you know what's weird that I looked up? And this kind of this is why I picked him up. I was looking at his stats on ESPN here.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this, but might shed some light on this. Kyler Murray hasn't thrown an interception. He threw one today, but he hadn't thrown one since week 5.
Yeah. Kyler's developing really quickly.
Now, there were a couple games in that stretch where he didn't throw any touchdown passes, but I picked him up because I was like, well, he's not turning the ball over, so at least he's not going to cost me points.
Right.
Now, because he threw for 324 yards and 3 touchdowns, I'll give him the pass on throwing that one interception.
Yeah.
So if you're going to throw a pick, put up numbers like that.
For over 300 yards in quite a few games this year.
Yeah, he is developing pretty quick.
Yeah, I mean, I thought he might be a decent quarterback. I'm still worried about his durability. The dude's tiny, but he hasn't taken a lot of hits, which is good.
Just like we were saying with Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
And even when you do take hits, just
there's Jason
try
Garrett
to avoid the big hits if you can.
All Jason Garrett does is clap. I don't even think he calls plays. I think he's just a figurehead.
Jerry Jones is sitting upstairs with a headset on.
Yeah. What else we got? That's about it. Bucks still won, though, despite Jameis' trashy play. 2 interceptions. He threw for over 350 yards, but touchdown.
Who did the Buccaneers play this week?
They played the Cardinals. So the Cardinals lost still. It was a close game. I think they were like trying to drive in the end, and it didn't work out for them or something. But, Buccaneers, they're doing decent.
Have I asked you, are you taking back how high you were on Jameis Winston yet?
Yeah, a long time ago. I told you I gave up on him in week 2.
Week 2?
Yeah. He's actually started to have some decent fantasy performances just because of his passing yards, but he's a turnover machine. He's like a worse version of Brett Favre. Like, he's like a gunslinger, but with more turnovers, even more than Favre used to have.
Dude, Brett Favre used to throw so many interceptions. Doesn't he have the interception record, too?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't think anyone's ever going to pass him up with that. Eli Manning had a chance to. He had like a few seasons where he threw like just a tremendous amount. Then he got it together. I think it was when he got Beckham.
Eli Manning and Phillip Rivers, Hall of Fame quarterbacks, yes or no?
Phillip Rivers, maybe, probably not. Eli Manning, I don't think so, but he'll probably get in because of the Super Bowls.
That's going to hold a lot of weight. He's the only person to ever beat Tom Brady in a Super Bowl besides Nick Foles.
Yep. Nick Foles,
and as of 2 years ago, he was the only quarterback to beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl.
That is true. I don't know. I mean, Rivers has the stats, but he doesn't really pass the eye test. You know, like if you watch his tape, especially when I'm looking at his clutchness, like there's a lot of games where he's driving down the field and he throws a pick. And that's a big thing. That's what holds the Chargers back a lot is, you know, instead of getting that clutch gene, then he fails. Like that's opposite. Like with Derek Carr, one thing I like about him is he'll have a pretty crappy game, but if you're one possession and you're driving down the field, I don't think I've ever seen Derek Carr throw an interception to lose the game. At least that's one.
I mean, it happens to everybody once in a while, but it's just with how many times it's happened to Phillip Rivers. It's
a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of which, we can move on to our Thursday night game. Got a few things there. Chargers are definitely free-falling right now.
Yeah.
You think it's Rivers' last season with them?
Hey, really quick, I just want to say Brett Favre has thrown 336 interceptions.
Is that the most of all time?
Yeah.
I'm going to double-check that right now.
Can you look up the who's in the top 5? Because I think he's in first place by a lot.
Yeah, but probably by like 100, I think. I think he's like 100, which is like ridiculous considering that.
Yeah, the Chargers, I literally think that team has had their soul ripped out of them, like sucked out of them from being in LA and playing for Dean Spanos. And by the way, it was so great last week when he was like, I just want to set the record straight. We're not fucking going to London. We're staying here in Los Angeles.
He's the only one who wants bullshit. Them to. Like the report that came out wasn't Dean Spanos wants to go to London. It was NFL owners talking about moving Chargers to London.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that the NFL could buy him out if they don't want him to be an owner. Like they hold that right?
Probably.
To do that?
Oh, he is number one.
By a lot?
Brett Favre.
How many? Who's in second?
Second is George Blanda with 277.
So he's 60 interceptions ahead of George Blanda. He said 336?
336, yeah.
Yeah.
George Blanda. Who's third?
John Haddle.
Who the heck is that?
He must have played a long time ago.
George Blanda.
Who rounds out the top 5?
John Haddle was a quarterback for... Oh, shit. Who did he play for? Why does this not say?
It doesn't matter. Go on to the next one. Who's number 4?
Vinny Testaverde.
Vinny. How many does Vinny have?
267.
267. And who's 5th? Who rounds out the top 5?
Fran Tarkenton.
Really?
Right on.
How many does he have?
266.
266?
Yeah.
So you got Brett Favre, Vinny Testaverde, George Blanda, Fran Tarkenton, and who was the third guy?
John Haddle.
John Haddle.
And most of those guys played into their 40s. I know Blanda played pretty old, and Testaverde played really old.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, George Blanda, it says 1949 to 1975.
Yeah. I think what he did, though, is he stopped playing...
it's 25 years.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
He stopped playing quarterback at some point and just started being a kicker only. Yeah. Yeah, he started kicking it at some point only. Yeah. Yeah, he was a solid kicker. He played for the Raiders. That's why I remember him. Yeah, Rivers. So Rivers. It seemed like he targeted Eric Harris, our safety, as much as his receivers.
You were asking if Phillip Rivers is done with them. I just don't. I can't see him with another team. Not saying he couldn't go to another team.
Yeah, no, I think he retires.
Who's he gonna go to that is like a contending team that needs a quarterback? Because he's going to go to a contender, if anything. Yeah. You know what I mean? He's not going to go to the Dolphins.
He's not going to uproot his family because do you know that he drives
his whole gaggle of kids?
Yeah.
He's got like 12 kids.
He still lives in San Diego. He drives up to L.A. every day in like this freaking huge, like a RV type thing.
With all of his kids?
No, not with his kids, but he drives up there.
Why does he take a bus then?
I don't know, dude.
Because he's filthy rich. That's why. Why not?
Yeah, exactly.
If I was filthy rich, I'd buy a helicopter and fly it up there. Why not? Take flying lessons.
Dude's crazy. So, yeah, I think if they don't hold on to him, then he just retires. Yeah.
I think it's funny, too, that people are trying to say that Tom Brady is going to leave the Patriots and possibly go to the Chargers. And I'm like, shut up.
No.
That's a package deal. Once Brady's done there, Belichick's retiring, too.
I think Belichick stays now. I think he's going to stick
You think he's
around.
going to keep playing after Brady's done?
Yeah,
Brady's gonna
but
leave
there's
first.
no way Brady goes anywhere else. Really? No. Brady stays with the Patriots until he retires.
Robert Kraft's not going to let him walk away. Are you serious?
Never.
I don't think he really wants to either. It's just that his contract is up and they'll renegotiate.
And Brady knows damn well that he's not, his chances of winning in a Super Bowl are best with where he's at.
And his wife is filthy rich. He's definitely not going to go anywhere because they're not paying him enough money.
Exactly.
Like, the guy's got more money already than he's ever going to need.
Yeah, he already takes less money to keep the Patriots competitive.
So they can sign offensive linemen and stuff like that to protect him.
Yep.
Doesn't he leave like another $10 million on the table every single year for purposes like that?
He's like maybe, if he's lucky, a top 10 paid quarterback.
Yeah.
And obviously he's a top 1 performing quarterback. I mean, in a way, you could argue now his performance maybe is like, Russell Wilson and Lamar Jackson are playing better than him. But overall, you want Brady on your team. 2 minutes.
I mean, it definitely
left.
doesn't hurt.
Yeah. What about, Eric Harris almost had 5 interceptions. He had 2 overturned by penalty. One of them was a BS.
And he
offsides.
had all the other 3, too.
Yeah.
Like, come on, Phillip.
It looked like he was targeting
What's
him.
the most amount of interceptions that one cornerback has ever had in a game or safety?
I don't know.
Look it up. Can you look that up, Daniel?
Time for another stat look up. The most interceptions in one game by one player.
By one player. Most interceptions in one game by one player.
I'm sure somebody's had 3. I think once maybe Tillman had 3. Peanut Tillman. I feel like he's had 3 in a game.
I'm trying to think of like really high-end cornerbacks and safeties that we've talked about, like Brian Dawkins. I can't remember any, like Sean Taylor. Champ Bailey. I'm sure Champ Bailey's had multiple 2 interception games.
Yeah.
But I don't know how many.
Oh, man, that dirty spin.
Charles Woodson.
Yeah, Woodson I know has had at least a few 2 interception games. What about
We'll come back to that.
Yeah. 0-8 on the final drive from Rivers after he was taunting us on the sideline too, the Raiders. He had 3 interceptions total, only 2 touchdowns.
What you got, Daniel?
It says the most interceptions recorded in a game by an individual is 4.
Oh, wow.
And that's held by 18 players.
Wow.
18 have had 4?
And that's as of 2010. Oh, wait. This might be old. That's from Guinness World Records. Hold on.
Wow, but wait, even 4, that's a lot. And 18 players
Even
have
18
done it?
is a lot. I would have thought it would have been like 4 interceptions, maybe like 3 guys.
Yeah.
That's a lot. 18 people.
Hey,
Was it that easy to catch interceptions back in the 50s and 60s?
No, maybe it's old school, huh?
Eric Harris.
Josh Jacobs with his 6th of 9 games, over 100 yards from scrimmage. One game he missed out by a yard. He had 99.
He's going to be a really good second running back to have next year, I feel like.
So second? Oh, yeah.
Number 2 running back?
Yeah.
Get him in like Aaron Jones or something like that. You got anything, Daniel, or no?
No.
Not coming up with it?
We'll find it. Let's see. We had our late slate of games. We already talked about the Dolphins getting their second straight win. If you need a deep dive, the Dolphins' offense is starting to come to life a little bit. Most of their players are free agents still. Devontae Parker, he had 10 targets today, 69 yards.
I'm really curious to see how they draft this year. I kind of want to just fast forward to the draft just to see what Miami's selections are going to be.
Have you
seen a lot of draft picks this year?
Yeah.
They got a lot of first-round draft picks this year. Don't they have like 3 or 4 first-round draft picks this year?
I think they have 3 now, yeah.
Okay, 6 guys tied for 7 interceptions in a single game.
7 in
Seven?
a game?
Yeah.
What?
Anybody recently?
I think that's probably who's thrown for 7.
Yeah, Glenn Dobbs, Zeke Bretkowski, Tommy Wade, Ken Stabler, Steve DeBerg, and Ty Detmer.
But they've thrown. But I want to see caught.
Oh, caught. I thought we were going for thrown.
No. Yes,
Ty Detmer threw 7 interceptions. That's a lot as a quarterback.
I know Ken Stabler's thrown for 7 once. I didn't know that.
How do you not get benched after 4? 5?
Yeah.
6. 7. You ended 7 drives prematurely. What was the score of that game? 48-0?
That's crazy. Wow.
You know, it'd be even worse if the other team forced 7 turnovers and lost.
Okay, so the most caught was 8.
The most interceptions in a game was 8 by one player?
By Jim Hardy.
No, that's impossible. Wait. Maybe. I mean, I guess so. One quarterback throws 7, and then another comes in and throws another.
I guess that was in 1950.
Oh yeah, old timey player. I gotta look this up too. I gotta get on the same page as you.
Second is Ken Stabler with 7.
So yeah, that's thrown though. We're still on thrown.
This is a
because Ken Stabler is a quarterback.
Intercepted.
No, Ken Stabler is a quarterback.
Oh wait, what am I looking at? We could move on.
You've got me on this train right now.
I'm trying to find it.
I'll find it. It is 4 by it's 18 players have caught at least 4.
Pro Football Reference. Are you on that website? Is that the one you were on? Yes, there is 18 with 4.
There's a lot of them.
Let me see. Is there anybody on this list that...
I know D'Angelo Hall.
I'm looking at the dates. Some of these dates are really old. The only one that's kind of modern is in 2001, and that was Deltha O'Neal for Denver. He had 4. Everything
2010
else...
was D'Angelo Hall. That was the most recent.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa, a guy named Goose Consolin in 1960.
His name was Goose?
Yeah.
What a name.
Samari Roll in 1999 for Tennessee. That's about it.
So, yeah, it's kind of cool.
Nice.
Look at that snowfall coming down in Green Bay.
Yeah. That's that's pretty much the last game we had to talk about.
Yeah.
Not a lot. I mean, Rodgers pedestrian game for his standards, 17-29 for I don't know how many yards. Well, I don't know.
Yeah, they had a pretty good day. Aaron Jones, 3 touchdowns, like we said.
Yeah. He's now tied with the CMC for 14 total touchdowns. He passed up McCaffrey for like 10 minutes until he scored another one. Steelers, Rams fall to the Steelers. We talked about them already. Cooper Kupp held catchless.
After going off last week or 2 weeks ago.
What are you doing? She's tripping out right now.
What do we got this week? Oh, let's preview tomorrow night's game real quick before we wrap it up.
Yeah.
Tomorrow night's going to be good. We're going to see how good the 49ers actually are. They're going to have their toughest test of the season thus far.
Oh, yeah.
Their second half of the schedule is actually pretty tough. They got to play the Saints, the Packers. They got to play the Seahawks twice. They got to play the Rams.
Yeah, they got some tough games in there.
Again.
I think I'm going to predict a win by Seattle, 24-21.
Is it is San Francisco the home team in that, or is it in Seattle?
I thought it was Seattle, but now I'm not sure.
Let's look it up quick. Let me go to my fantasy. It's in San Francisco, yeah.
Yeah, at San Fran. That's kind of that can go either way. I mean, I don't know. It's hard for me to say, but I think it's going to come down to
Are the 49ers a legit team to make a good run a deep run in the playoffs if they come out and they smack the Seahawks in the mouth and they win 30-13 or something?
No doubt. I think they're legit now. I mean, their philosophy is something that can work in the playoffs. You know, good. They play good, sound defense. They can run the ball. That's usually what you need to win in December and January.
And Nick Bosa is just an absolute monster. He's going to win Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, that defense is legit. They're a good defense.
Ford.
Yeah. So I think it's going to be a good game. I think it can come down to it. I'm going to take Seattle in this game, but it can go either way. I'll predict 24-21, and that can go either way too. Yeah.
Man, it's just hard. This year it's been hard for me to bet against Russell Wilson, though.
Exactly.
I feel like him and Lamar Jackson are the two guys for MVP.
Yeah,
right now.
no doubt. It's one of them two. I mean, McCaffrey makes a case, but it's definitely that.
I feel like it's very hard for any other position to win MVP that's not quarterback.
Yeah.
Who's the last non-quarterback to win MVP of the league? Let's look it up. Well, that'll be our last bit. We'll look it up. I'll look it up really quick for you guys.
Go. What is her deal?
NFL MVPs.
She has water. I just gave her more.
Oh, come on. Who's won the last, let's say, 10 NFL MVP awards?
The last one was Adrian Peterson, I think.
Okay, here we go. So I'm going to go backwards from 2018. Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady. 2016 was Matt Ryan.
Matt Ryan. Oh, yeah, I remember.
Cam Newton, Aaron Rodgers, Peyton Manning, Adrian Peterson, 2012 for the Vikings. Yeah. So the last 6 have all been quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And then before him, it was Aaron Rodgers again, and then Tom Brady, and then Peyton Manning, and then Peyton Manning, and then Tom Brady, and then LaDainian Tomlinson in 2006.
Oh, yeah.
And then Sean Alexander in 2005, the year he broke the NFL, the rushing touchdown record.
Right.
And then before him, Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning has 1, 2, 3, 4 MVP awards.
He's won a lot of them.
Tom Brady has 3. Aaron Rodgers has 2.
I think Favre's got 3 or 4 as well.
And then before that, 2003, Steve McNair. 2000.
Oh, McNair. He was fun to watch. I love McNair.
Wait. They had co-MVPs in 2003, it looks like.
Yeah.
Peyton Manning and Steve McNair. Mm-hmm. Rich Gannon, 2002. Oakland.
Good times. Our last good year.
Kurt Warner.
Well.
Marshall Faulk in 2000. Kurt Warner. Terrell Davis in 98. Barry Sanders. Brett Favre won 3 MVPs back in the 90s, 95, 96, and 97.
Yeah.
Steve Young, Emmitt Smith, Steve Young, Thurman Thomas. So, if you're not a quarterback or
running back,
your chances are very slim. I think the closest would have been J.J. Watt a couple years ago when he had 20 and a half sacks.
Yeah.
But who knows how close he really was in the MVP.
Yeah.
I think that's the year that who won it that year? Was that 2016? I forget what year that was.
That was the year Cam won, I think, if I remember right.
And then you can go back to the 90s, and it's a lot of Joe Montana, Boomer Esiason's in there, John Elway, Lawrence Taylor. Lawrence Taylor was the last defensive player to win it in 86.
Wow. Nice. Well, I think that'll do it for this time.
Yep, that was a pretty good episode. We ran a little bit longer, but that's okay.
Yeah, pretty good times in this one. Yeah. So don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Last Word Pod, something like that.
Yeah,
I'll get it one day. Last word on Football Pod. No,
it's Last Word Pod.
We're only about what 8 or 9 episodes in, and you still don't have it.
Follow me on Twitter at
Last
Ryan
Word
World.
Cast. I'm sorry.
Last Word Cast. All right, there we go. Last word on.
Like
cast.
We said, we're running
at Ryan World.
We're running a tight ship here.
At Daniel Doesn't. Find Last Word on Sports on Twitter, on our website, all that good stuff. Find him in a bar like always. We'll see you guys
get the hell
next
out of
week.
here.